Well, it's Seshat Samurai. I'm not sure if y'all can hear me, but I'm actually just moving around. But I just wanted to do a live stream. Sorry, I'm not getting over a cold, but I wanted to talk about. Maybe I need to lower this down a little bit. I guess I'll be mainly talking to myself. Anyway, so yesterday, February 26th, musician. He's a lot of things. He's an audio engineer, producer, creative writer. He's a multi instrumentalist. He's awesome, and he. I don't want to. I don't want to botch his birthday, but I know he was born in February and he passed away in February. And I know he died February 26, 2000, and I think it was 10. It'll be 11 years now that he has passed. And oh man, like yesterday was a very interesting day. Like, every year, I mean, I listen to Nujabes every day, but every year on like the day of his birth and the day of his death, I listen to all of his music because it took me to a place where I was very lost. Um, so just to go to the beginning, in 2000, I think it was five, I would say. I was young. I was pretty young. I can't remember how old I was. But in 2005, I think I was like 13 or 12. And Adult Swim used to do like little snippets of new shows that was going to come on. And one of the shows was a show called Samurai Champloo. Now, it used to come on really late at night. So this is like right before I used to go to bed. And I remember one particular day, and I remember it like it was yesterday. I was at my father's house and he was doing some schoolwork on his computer, and I was just watching TV and just drinking tea or whatever. And, know, Adult Swim came on and they put a little commercial on to, showcase the new show. And it was that beginning show, the beginning song, the original soundtrack, the Battle Cry by Shing O2. When that song came on, and then the music, and you can hear like the vinyl, the scratching. I don't know. I'm not really familiar with hip hop culture as much as I should, but I remember it was like, "Yeah," and it was just Samurai Champloo, and it was just all of this weird, funny, like at my age at that time, I've never seen anime that animated before, to where it encapsulated the Japanese style and much of the hip hop vibe. So that was something that was very new to me. And even my dad like stopped doing what he was doing. He was watching and he was listening to the music that was playing. And he's like, wow, that's pretty interesting. And it's like, wow, it's a cartoon, and he's not interested anymore, but he's still listening to the music. But me, my 13-year-old self, I was like, oh my God, this show is so awesome. But the time schedule that it came on was hella late, and I was a kid still. And I used to have a curfew. It was midnight on weekends, and it has to be like by 10 on weekdays. Thankfully, the show used to come on Saturdays, but it used to come on at 12:30. So it was like the ancestors were like, okay, look, it's on half an hour past your bedtime or an hour and a half past your bedtime. What we're gonna do is we're gonna have your dad work night shifts. So it was awesome because that was the only show I was really looking forward to. There was the lineup, I think it was Family Guy, Inuyasha, and then it was Samurai Champloo. They would have, oh man, like I remember like even to this moment, I can feel like the jittery, fluttery feelings as I heard like it when it was black, and then you saw the vinyl and it's spinning, and then you hear the music. And it was only 26 episodes, one season. Um, but what I can say is that in those moments of me watching, I felt ultimate peace. And I know people are gonna be like, oh my God, here you are, you're almost 30 years old and you're reminiscing about an anime show. Yeah, because there was a lot of things that was happening around in that time um, that was happening, and for me to feel a sense of I was able to escape, and it was so peaceful there because music was something new. I was raised on listening to my mom's music or my dad's music. I never really had anything of my own at that time. And I kind of felt like in prison almost, because my mom used to listen to a lot of, Michael Jackson. I love Michael Jackson, don't get me wrong. She used to listen to a lot of good all 90s music and stuff, but it was like typical. And I was already listening to it. And then my dad used to listen to, old school Jamaican music, Buju Banton. My mom liked Elephant Man, but my dad wasn't really a fan of Elephant Man. But my dad loved, Bob Marley as well. But he was also listening to a lot of alternative rock, white people music. So I grew up listening to Journey, Counting Crows, which I still love, Coldplay, which I still love. But I don't really, when I listen to those musics to bring me back to how it used to be when I was a kid with my dad. But you know, I've always thought of music as like a trigger for memories. And at that time, I didn't have anything of my own when it came to musical taste. Uh, I was going to school listening to Michael McDonald on my cassette tape. I was listening to shit like that. I was listening to Coldplay, Counting Crows, a lot of these white artists. And then, because, it was just my dad, he had a major musical influence on me, whereas my mom, not so much. And at that age of 13 and listening to the music from that show, I never quite understood how you can mesh different cultures of music and you put them together, and to hear cultural and classical Japanese being mixed with American hip hop. It was so revolutionary. And I know a lot of people shun anime and stuff like that, not realizing that anime and American cartoons are two completely different things. I've noticed that in Japanese culture, and this is not I'm not romanticizing them or glorifying them. This is just a basic observation. I've noticed that, of course, the Japanese, they've dealt with their situation, and we have as well. And I'm pretty sure if Black people decided to really, like, and there are, if we really wanted to do our own type of style of cartoon as well, we can definitely revolutionize everything. But that's another live stream. But the Japanese, they have, when they do their anime, there is a moral to the story. It's not just cartoons or just meaningless fuckery. There's always a point. There's always a story to be told. One of the few ones that really opened my eyes to how the Japanese perceive their society and just nature in general was the movie Metropolis. And I'll do a live stream about that as well, because that movie was very profound. And actually, it speaks about transhumanism low key in that movie. That's why when we talk about transhumanism now, I'm like, well, I thought we already had that understanding, because there's a lot of movies as well as anime that explain it. But whatever. And as I'm watching this show, it's a lot of things that's going on, and it really introduced me into the time period of Japan, which, and it just got me really interested in reading Japanese history, and to see how Japan has been heavily influenced by African American music. It was fully explained and displayed in that show. That show really, like Nujabes, and there was other musicians, other Japanese musicians who also collaborated with a lot of Black American artists underground. No one really, I mean, people know them. I know them, but they're not mainstream. Like Substantial. I love that man. Like, he is so awesome. And then there's, oh my God, there's another girl. I can't remember her name. But there's a lot of these Black artists, underground artists, who pair up with these guys, Shingo Tu, Tutsuchi. I think, I don't want to say Robert Glasper, but I think he would do very well if he was to collab with them. There's a few other underground motherfuckers like Odyssey, DJ Easyascal, and I know who DJ Easyascal is. And it's like a lot of these guys were inspired by. It's funny how these Black people were saying that they were inspired by Nujabes, when Nujabes was being inspired by us. And so I want to get into the story of how Nujabes saved my life. So around this time, um, my mother was diagnosed with breast cancer. And it was a very trying time, because there's like a custody situation to where it's either I picked my mother or my father. And I don't even want to get into that because there's so much manipulation and shit going on there. I don't even want to fuck with y'all brain. But I had to make decisions, and I made a bad decision, but it was a good decision. But it would have been a bad decision if I was to make the other decision anyway. So it didn't matter what the decision was. Um, and that's just hindsight after 20 years of having to like really ponder it. But as all of this was going on, I had to deal with school. I was doing very well in school at the time, despite all of the fuckery that was happening. But Samurai Shampoo, the show itself, brought me through a lot because it was the music that really drew me in. And I was the musician at the time. I was playing flute, I was playing piccolo, I was in marching band, I was doing jazz band. I wanted to like play other instruments. I was planning on getting I was actually in line of getting a full ride musical scholarship. My dad don't even know that. Um, to play flute at any college I wanted. And one of the things was when I was listening to Nujabes was how he was able to incorporate a lot of cultural Japanese elements and combine it with just hip hop. And it's man, like as I was listening to his music, and I would be at my mother's house, and I was with her, and she would be sitting on the couch, very tired from chemo, and I'll be looking at her, and I'll be so sad. And then Samurai Shampoo would come on, and the music would literally like drain out all of the sorrow out of me just for a second. And even in the 23 minutes, those 23 minutes of listening to the new music that they were coming up with, it was just mind blowing. Like Reflection Eternal. And then, even if you don't know what that Reflection Eternal, type in Reflection Eternal, Nujabes, and you just listen to that. There was a time where I sat down for hours trying to just write out the notes so I can play it on my flute because I was that desperate to bring that same power, that magic into my own life, being able to harness that. And it came to a point where my mom had gotten so sick, the drama between my mother, father, and I got so intense to where I was put in a mental, I was put in a mental place where I didn't know whether if me living was a good option. Because if me living was going to be why, all of this was happening, this was going through my mind as a 14-year-old. And a lot of the situations, the reason always came back down to me. And I was just like, man, I didn't want to be here. And that's kind of where the suicidal thoughts came. And I would watch Samurai Champloo and those thoughts of possibly leaving this world and leaving my mother alone and my father alone kind of dissipated every time when I watched that show because the music grounded me. It was so whimsical. There's no lyrics. It's just instruments. And the one thing that I have noticed between the music that I was raised under and that particular music was that the words dictated how you felt. And I didn't want that music to tell me how to feel, but just to feel it through the instruments that's being played. And Nujabes did that perfectly. He would like there's another man that, oh my gosh, he's really filled in a space within my musical heart since Nujabes has passed. Uyama Hiroto, that man also, they've done a few collabs together. One of my favorite songs that they have is uh it's a it's a completion actually. So after because Nujabes he passed away in a car accident in one of the highways in Japan. And at the time, he had a lot of unfinished, he had some unfinished projects. And so I know Yamahiro, so he took on some of the songs. And one of the songs that I put on repeat, I think this is my number three top playing songs to this day. I have other music, but it's a number the top. I think the top five at least. It's just I don't want to like fuck up the title. Let me see if I can find it on my YouTube. Shit. Oh hey Ron. Hey Chief. Chef, whatever. I'm sorry, I keep fucking up your name. I'm just not looking on this. I'm actually just doing a rant. I'm not. I don't really care about necessarily the views. I just wanted to get this out of my head. But one of the songs was Nara Nakamura. Now that's a profound song. That is profound. Um, I'm not sure if y'all can hear me. Let me know if you can hear me. I know there's only one person in the chat, but I don't know if y'all can hear me or maybe I sounded distant. Or maybe I'll just hear the music. I don't know if y'all really can hear me, but let me check something real quick because I could be talking to myself. Oh, you can hear me, Yeti? The bad pro black stuff. Just an understanding of me, I guess. And anyway, so yeah, one of the songs is actually I'm playing in the background right now. It's called "The Space Between Two Worlds." And when I first heard the song, I remember exactly where I was. And you know, I heard the song and I broke down crying because this is maybe about a few months prior to my mom's passing. And wait, was it? Oh, man, I can't remember because I was listening to it on iMeme. I don't even know if y'all remember iMeme. IMEEM. Oh my gosh. One of the best illegal streaming sites for me at the time. And oh, I remember listening to the song and I broke down crying because as I was looking at the title, the space between two worlds. So what is it? What is that void between Earth and Mars? The blackness of space. And I was just sitting there in awe as I'm letting this is a steel drums, and I'm a Jamaican, so we like steel drums. So you like I'm not sure if y'all can hear it. Let me see if I can turn this shit up real quick because I want you to hear and I like listening to particular instruments and its purpose in the song. So it can either be steel drums or the guitar. Like it's just like everything just comes together. And I'll be listening to this song in the dark, and I'll be just thinking about if because I love looking up the stars. I always thought I would be an astronaut one day, and I would just sit there. There'd be a few times where I'll go outside because where I used to live was in like the suburbs, and there was like a little park. And when my dad wasn't tripping, and it was he wasn't doing too much, I'll just go out there and I'll just lay under the grass with my little headset on. This is when we had the CD players because used to burn it on the CDs. We didn't have MP3 players at the time, not just yet. And or it was out, but it was very expensive to buy one because there was not even an iPod Shuffle. I don't even think it was that far. Oh my God, I'm old as fuck. Jesus. So, I remember I used to burn it on a CD and I would just listen to the same song. There was a few times that I've had to re-burn a new CD because I played that CD so fucking much that it would, yeah. And I'll listen to this song while I'm like laying underneath the stars. And I would just picture myself just trapped, like being an astronaut, and I'm going on some kind of voyage between two worlds. What is it that silence? What would be the song that I would want on repeat as I'm journeying between the two worlds, no matter how long it is? And this was a particular song because every single time that I listened to it, it felt different. It felt like I was going, like I had found a different world after that song was finished. Did what I needed to do, and then I needed to go to a different world. So it was never like the same thing over and over again. And I know y'all have that one song where it would always feel different to you every single time you hear it. This is one of the songs. And I played the fuck out of the song, the space between two worlds. And there was a point in my life where it got really bad, and mentally I was so gone to where I just wanted to end it. And for a moment, there was a few times where I heard this song, "The Space Between Two Worlds," as me leaving my body, the body as being the world. And it didn't feel good, but this song was so powerful that it grounded me to really just venture between the two worlds in my living body, and not wanting to be dead while I'm doing it. You know what I'm saying? And I know a lot of people are gonna probably listen to this and they know that I'm pro black. Oh, see, she's glorifying this Japanese man. If it was a black man who created the song, "The Space Between Two Worlds," I would have given him credit. It said, "Wow, he was touched for real." But it was a Japanese man who made this song. And to be honest, I'm thinking to myself and how everything had played out in those 2 years, between the years of 2004 and 2006. I think to myself every single day, especially yesterday, the day that he had passed, where he literally left the world, and all of his beautiful contributions that he's brought, and how many lives he has saved, including mine. Like, I wonder to myself, if I had never listened to this song, would I still be alive? Because it was there was so much that was happening, and every single time that I felt that urge to do something, I would listen to his music, and it would just stop me almost instantly. I'll listen to my dad's other music, and I didn't feel whole. I didn't feel anything. I listened to my mom's music. I didn't feel anything. I tried to listen to classical white people music, and I didn't feel anything. But when I listened to Nujabes, Uyama Hiroto, then later on it was Odyssey, DJ's Yasuko, then there's Substantial, then there's oh my God, there's so many artists that's involved in this beautiful genre that's new jazz, you know, Japanese hip hop, instrumental hip hop, a lot of, we don't, I don't, this is why I don't really take to mainstream rap music that well. I'll listen to a few thought songs, get my twerk on every now and then, but it was never something that I would want my kids to be raised on. It would be DJ's Yasical. Like, he has an amazing collection. And I knew him as a kid. I didn't even know who he was until I got older. And I looked at his picture and I'm like, I know this nigga. And I grew up with him. He lived right across from my cousin's house. And he used to have a little switchboard and he used to make his music. And I never quite understood what it was because, I'm not familiar with hip hop, American hip hop like that, being raised as a Jamaican. So being introduced to it, back into listening to hip hop through that show, Samurai Champloo, it was a wonderful experience. I have a lot more respect for um, these artists now. I started listening to music like, oh, I see where that inspiration came from. And for real though, Nujabes for real saved my life, man. Like, I remember, I can specifically remember the days where there was incidents that happened to where I just wanted to end it all. Just wild shit. I would have this very wild urges to just walk into traffic, just not fucking care. It was really crazy shit. And when you're in New York, you know how traffic is in New York. So it was very dark, dark shit, man. And I had a playlist. It was 6 series where I specifically burned the songs where I've had the space between two worlds as the first song and the ending song. But I would shuffle different songs in between depending on how I felt. So I had a specific playlist for when I was happy and I wanted to keep that energy high. Then I had a specific one where I was sad and it would just keep me grounded. Not sad, but reflect. Then I would have a specific one where I was mad and I need to just get through it. I had one where I'll go work out with. But it always had the space between two worlds as the first song and the last song to keep me grounded, that this is where I wanted to do was to travel between the two worlds alive to keep me here. And even though that didn't make much sense to me at 14, when I look back on it now, I realized that I know I was spiritually touched as a kid. I saw a lot of spiritual things, a lot of evil demons, and I've seen angels as well. Not angels like God and the wings and stuff. It's a matter of energy, the energy of peace and healing. I've seen miracles happen, but I've also seen curses happen as well. And, I remember the day, I think it was maybe like a couple days after, because, you don't really at the time, you didn't really, the internet was like not like that when he had passed. It's only 10 years ago, 11 years ago, but still, he was a Japanese artist and he was considered underground. But I don't think they released his death until maybe about a week or so later, because I found out and I can tell you that I cried for about a week. And I cried, and it may sound selfish when I say this, but I cried because he's gone. What does that mean for me? Am I going to die now? Because the feelings that I felt every time when he dropped a new album, it not he didn't drop it like back to back. He would have space in between, and so I would binge listen to an album, and then the new album would come, and you can hear a totally different soul song. And there are certain artists in the in hip hop that the lyrics are different, but the sound is the same, aka Future. Okay, Drake. It's the similar type of backdrop. Nujabes is very different. You would swear to God it's a different person making music. There's nothing. He does have connection songs, like he has Final View and Next View. These are actually songs that are specifically paired together. Then there's Wind Speaks and Counting Stars. There are certain songs that he has in his collection that are meant to be continuations of different phrases, but he's never really. It's not the same song. They don't have the same beat. It's literally like an extended song. So one song will be 4 minutes, the other will be 4 minutes. It sounds completely different, but you definitely can feel the same type of spirit coming. It's weird. Maybe I'm the only person that hears it, but when I listen to songs like, for an example, Next View and Final View, for me, if it doesn't matter in which way it doesn't matter if I start listening to Next View or Final View together, it just sounds perfect. Sorry, hold on. It sounds perfect. So, but it never sounded the same. But you can definitely tell that those songs were meant to be together. And it always fascinated me how he was able to do that. And a few of the artists who collabed with him, like Uyama Hiroto, they have a similar formula when they do stuff like that. I think to myself, if he had lived another 5 years, what kind of music would he have made, and what kind of person would I have been? Because I feel like I've been stagnant since he's passed. In terms of music, I don't really listen to new music, to be honest. Um, a lot of people be talking about different names, and you know who this person. I don't know who you're really talking about, because I've been in that weird headspace since I was, at least 14 to 16 when it came to music. I was doing a huge music binge. I was just listening to everybody, and but it was everybody that had to deal with this show, and it opened up my mind, of course, to hip hop music. But at the same time, I still cling to the instrumental variety, and to a certain degree, like I feel like when it comes to finding peace within myself, I still resort to listening to Nujabes' music, but it brings me back to an immature state of when I was 16. And I've grown so much since then. I've There's some fears and some traumas that I still haven't overcome that I'm still working on today. But I realize that the lessons won't be learned until time goes by, until I experience the world. And I couldn't really find the realization and the resolution that I'm getting now is not something that I understood when I was 16. I had to understand through time and really just experiencing life, and then experiencing even more suicidal thoughts and having to resort back to listening to Nujabes to ground me. And I'm so thankful that, you know, there was an artist who did appreciate Black music, who of course he puts himself, he's Japanese, right? And he definitely he definitely incorporated that cultural vibe with ours, and he's made it's a beautiful combination. It really is. And I wish more Black people could listen to that, because there's no lyrics. No one is telling you to shoot nobody. No one is telling you to twerk. No one's telling you to do this. No one's telling you that. It's just the instruments speaking to you, speaking to your soul, and you already understand a cadence of you know the bass and the beat and the beats and stuff like that. But that other essence, that whimsical, calm essence that the Japanese bring towards it, there's a lot of artists who do that. Nujabes being, for me, the number one on that list. Like, he has a whole, like, it's just Hideout Productions, top tier, top tier. They have a homework edition for the space between two worlds, and I could listen to that song over and over again. I used to actually listening to this song specifically when I used to study. It's repetitious. You expect, like, for me, I kind of know how many um different oh my god, I can't remember the music shits now. The different segments and stuff like that. And I know this by heart because I listen to so much, but it's one of those musics where if you want to zone out, you high as hell, yeah, you listen to this song. Yeah, you want shrooms, you listen to the song. You're sad, you listen to the song. You're happy, you listen to the song. You're mad, and it'll pull you back and it'll ground you. And you know, in any place that I'm at, I'll be at the beach. Oh man, there's another artist, Uyama Hiroto. When I was telling you, he has an album specifically where, oh my God, I can't remember the song either. I should be ashamed of myself because it's one of my favorite songs. I just listen to it. I don't really um, be paying attention to the name like that. But he has a song where in the background, it's the music, it's the sound of the ocean crashing against the shore, and he starts the music, and you just swear to God you are at the beach. And I'll listen to it when I'm at the beach, and every single time it would sound exactly like the waves on the beach. It's perfect. Sorry if you can hear the Spanish music. The Mexicans are playing their music. It's much louder than my music, of course. But I just wanted to do this really quick live because that was just something I wanted to talk about. I don't know if anyone else has had that experience when they listen to Nujabes. Um, I know my anime lovers, if y'all watch Samurai Champloo, you'll know exactly who I'm talking about. Name when I name drop Shingo 2, Mimi, what's her name? Cece? I think that's the name I was trying to recall earlier. All of these great artists, Substantial. Oh man, Substantial and Uyama Hiroto, they did a collab song. Oh my God, that song is beautiful as fuck. One day I'll one day I'll post up the song in the description. I'm gonna list all the names, all the title of the songs that are my top. I love all of them, but I'll give like maybe my top 20 favorite songs that I have on repeat because I have a few of my old albums. I think I have my fourth collection, the fourth volume four, because I did 6 volumes where I put on each. I think on each one it was 15 songs because I think the CDs at the time can only hold 60 minutes. So I think it was either 14 or 15 songs. If I'm lucky, I can get 16. And the only one that I still have intact is Volume 4, unfortunately. But it has my favorite songs that I cannot find anywhere else. But I just wanted to give y'all that story because I know, I don't know, I just wanted to put that out there because, you know, listening to that music back then, giving me peace and serenity, it does something different to me now. I've experienced so many things. Um, I've been traumatized. It's all that kind of stuff. And just like everyone else, there's a form of escapism. And, I'm glad at that time I didn't resort to doing drugs. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm not saying I was around it, but I'm not saying it wasn't there either. And I did have pretty problematic friends as well at the time. But when I had the time to be alone, because I was the only child, I listened to the song. And I listened to Nujabes. And honestly, that man did save my life. Honestly, there have been so many times where, yes, if I wasn't listening to a particular song at that particular moment when I wanted to walk in front of a bus, I would have done it. That's how severe it was. And it was only because I wanted to hear the end of the song and to the end of the album. And maybe I wanted to listen to the album again. That was the only thing that kept me here, honestly. I didn't really care about anything else. I didn't give a fuck. I mean, I cared about school, but I was in so much pain and turmoil that there was times where I was like, well, I'm listening to this wonderful song. How wonderful would it be if I just was to just go while I'm listening to this? And it was very dark thoughts. And it was funny how like it's like my soul told me to put certain songs in a certain place because when I felt that way because that song made me put me in that mindset, a particular song, the next song that came through, like I'll be sad. And there would be one song from Uyama Hiroto that I was listening to, and it's very sad. Letter from Yokosuka, which is a beautiful song, but it's very sad. The whatever that goddess is that is being spoken about in that particular song, she's sad. And it was funny how like when I listened to that song and I would feel I felt her grief, right? Letter from Yokosuka by Uyama Hiroto. And the next song that I would put would be Mold Out Soul. And that song in particular, it always like I don't know. I just it's hard to describe the feeling when I listen to that song. And after that song was finished, another song would come on. There'll be Wind Speaks, and then it was just like my spirit always told me which kind of songs will put you here. But then even if you know it's going to take you there, the next song is going to reverse all of that, correct all of those feelings because like even my sad to joy collection, the first few songs were, yes, indeed, an encapsulation of how I felt at that moment. Dread, silent, you know, quiet. And towards the end of that album, I was able to be a little bit more upbeat. And, I wish I still have those 6 CDs because those songs on there were priceless. I can't even remember. There were some songs on there I can't even remember because they took it off of YouTube. Now, I think I can find it on Hideout Productions, but you can't buy them anymore. You have to buy them the physical copies from Japan. Them shits are expensive. I would love all of that. That would be one of the if I was to ever win like $1 million. Actually, that would be one of my first luxury purchases. I think it was like $400 for all of them to be shipped to you from Japan. It's expensive as hell. I don't want the digital copy. I want the physical copies. And you know, oh man, it's just yeah. I just thought I wanted to talk about it yesterday, but my throat, I really was like, I was gasping for air. Like, I swear I thought I had COVID or some shit like that. But I think it's because, I my cats and they be doing the most. And, I haven't been really outside that much. But I just wanted to talk about that. I just wanted to get that off my chest and just do a video memoriam for him, you know, and just dedication for how much I really appreciate that godly music that he gave me in the time that I needed it. It was not a coincidence that I found him when I did, and I'm so grateful. I'm grateful to the ancestors for, you know, for all the things that they've done for me because I was able to watch all 26 episodes with no problems at all, and I thought it would be an issue, and I was able to really explore something about myself. I was able, and this was like a perfect time for me to really find new music, and I found myself. And I still listen to very, similar music to this day. And I pride myself on not just listening to mainstream music. I pride myself on having some type of musical taste that differs from twerking and trap music. I'm sorry, but y'all motherfuckers, I can't listen to trap in the fucking morning. I gotta listen to my Nujabes. It's nice and calm. It's soothing. It's you can meditate to it. Y'all motherfuckers be doing too much with all this extra shit. And I hope in time Uyama Hiroto will drop another album. I know it'll take him another 5 years because he dropped another one recently, but I don't like it. I'm sorry, I don't like it at all. It would be good as just an instrumental. The girl that was singing on there was a bit very. It was a poor additive. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Uyama Hiroto. I love your music, but you shouldn't have added her. You should have actually gotten a actual black artist to do that. But that's besides the point. Anyway, y'all go ahead like this video. I know I haven't said that. I don't really care about that, but whatever. If you want to like it, that's cool. If you know anybody that wants to probably hear something like this, share this video. Comment under the video. Tell me what is your favorite songs. If you know any other artists that I haven't mentioned in this video that's very reminiscent to Nujabes. Go ahead and subscribe to my Ajia Ghazalia channel. I need 50 fucking more subs to get my 1K. So I know I haven't been dropping videos. I apologize, but I've been sick for a few days. I actually wanted to do a lot of response videos, both on this channel, new content on this channel, as well as my main channel. Don't worry about my woke y'all gaming. I want to actually buy all of the games on Sims before I actually fully play it. So hey, if you want to donate and support the channel, go ahead and do so. It is $ Gazalia oh my god, GAHZALIA 14. Go ahead and donate to that Cash App. Because I would love to do me some some gameplay. We about to do some Woke Y'all gaming, but I wanted to make sure that I have all the games before I do that. But yeah, go ahead and subscribe to this channel, like, share, and subscribe. I love you guys. And let me look in the comments before I go. Ooh wee. Oh my god, I was wondering who this is. I meditate to Pac. You funny. Y'all are silly. Sorry, I'm just now seeing y'all comments now, but I've been like walking around just doing some stuff in the house. I haven't really been looking at the thing, but I don't want to make this live too long. So I'm just gonna go ahead and I'll end this live, but just wanted y'all to maybe listen to a little bit of this music in the background. And I'll see you later.